Hey, good morning everybody. Today is November 12th, it's 2017, and it's just an absolutely beautiful day here in southern Connecticut to be out on the road on a road bike. Susan's not with me this morning, she has an appointment, so I'm out solo and just enjoying the day. In this video I think I'm just going to talk about things in general that Susan and I have been involved with in the last couple weeks or so, trying to get our indoor trainer set up. Primarily because it won't be very long before the weather is going to turn and we won't be able to get out here. But as long as we can get out here, you can bet we're going to be out here riding. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this video this morning, and if you like it, click and subscribe at the end. And don't forget to leave comments or ask questions. Glad to answer them and see them anytime. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time. So long for now. Hey, good morning everyone. Today is November 12th, 2017. We are 1 week away from Thanksgiving, and I'm out riding by myself this morning. Susan has some appointments, and so she unfortunately is not going to be able to take advantage of this really nice day to ride. Very little, if any, winds. Absolutely blue skies. And I think temperatures are probably mid to upper 30 Fahrenheit. So really an ideal day to take a ride. We're in Guilford, Connecticut, and about to cross US Route 1 here, heading toward the town green. There goes Susan. How about that? You just waved at me going by. How about that? That's funny. Susan and I have taken a couple rides rather, in some what I believe you would consider cold weather, primarily because there were some spots where some puddles on the road had turned to ice. So that's cold. But as I said, today's a beautiful day for a ride. So here we are approaching the town green. And actually this is a much later start than I'm used to. I usually get on the road by certainly 9:30 or so. During the colder days, but had my kickoff delayed a little bit this morning, so probably it must be about 10:15 or so right now, maybe 10:30. And we're taking my usual ride out towards Stony Creek, up on Connecticut 146. Taking a right-hand turn here. I'm just going to take a nice easy pace today and just enjoy the day. I think the last time I came across this little piece of stretch of road in my videos, I was talking about Susan and I working on putting a little more finishing touches on our basement, where we have our indoor trainer set up. We have a really nice setup for Zwift. We have a Wahoo Snap indoor trainer, a smart trainer, and we use Zwift for our indoor rides. When I initially started thinking about indoor training the beginning of last year, probably right around this time, in fact, I did buy an indoor trainer that was a Cycleops trainer, mag trainer, and we used that one for a while, connected to Zwift, and it worked out pretty well. I like it. But with the smart trainer, it's just incredibly different. You get such a real sensation of being on the road in terms of sensing when you're climbing a hill or descending and things of that nature. Getting back to our indoor trainer setup, I'm using my laptop to run the Zwift software, or the Zwift program, or maybe I should call it the Zwift game. And that laptop is connected to a I think it's about a 28 or 30 inch flat screen TV, an older one that I have that I hadn't been using in a while. So the experience is pretty cool. Fairly good size screen. Riding on Zwift indoors. And last year when I kind of put the basement together for indoor training, I kind of like things to be somewhat well organized and somewhat, finished off. So this summer, cleaned out the basement and got rid of some power tools I wasn't using anymore. I used to do woodworking, but cleared a lot of the basement out. So yesterday, Susan and I did some final cleaning up and started to do some painting. I'd paint the walls of the basement white and the floors a light gray, and I'm sure it's going to really look nice and finished and comforting when we decide it's time to go downstairs and get on our bikes, because the weather might be just too nasty. In fact, Tomorrow and the next few days, we're supposed to be getting, first of all, a lot of wind, gale force winds, I think, in some cases, and maybe some rain thrown in there. Temps won't be too bad, but the wind sounds terrible. So tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday, neither one of those days look promising to be outside. Saturday and Sunday, at this point, maybe a little iffy, what I remember. Might be getting some rain or something. So anyway, it's that time of year when you start thinking about riding less outside and what can you do to stay in shape riding inside. So for both Susan and I, we really like the idea of getting back on Zwift for a while, for part of the time, not completely. One of the things that I notice about Zwift, and it's probably due to the fact of how I typically ride, how Susan and I typically ride, if you're on Zwift for an hour, which isn't all that long, generally speaking, you're going to be in the saddle for an hour. And that's a little outside of the norm for Susan and I. Generally, we ride two little waypoints, if you will, in our routes. For example, if I hadn't continued on 146 here, we would have turned off and headed toward what we call Bishop's Orchard. It's a nice dead-end road that leads to an entrance point to a wildlife sanctuary, or not a wildlife sanctuary, a nature sanctuary where you can either ride bikes or walk or things of that nature. But at any rate, if I had gone in that direction, that would have been about 5 miles from the house. Well, generally, Susan and I would stop there, talk about how we feel up to that point, what the weather is like, if we're trying out something new, like when we added Susan's new bike computer and things of that nature. And if we were heading in this direction, we'd probably stop after about 8 miles to a place we also like to stop. So anyway, my point being is that we don't generally stay in the saddle on Zwift, in the saddle more than, I'd say, 20 minutes without taking a short little break. So when we're riding Zwift, I think I kind of have to be mindful of that again, and kind of decide to either put it in a much higher gear from time to time and stand a little bit and get out of the saddle, or just plain get out of the saddle once in a while. Wow, what a beautiful day. Gosh. This for me is absolutely perfect riding weather. probably close to 40 degrees, no wind, sunshine. Man, it's beautiful. That sign back there, water over road, is no joke. Right up here, just as you come around this corner, it's a low-lying area, and to the left there are salt marshes, and in high tide and full moons this whole roadway right through there has a good 6 inches of water on it sometimes. First time I ever encountered it, kind of really woke me up. I thought, whoa, now what do I do? Well, I was fortunate I kept my wits about me and just slowed way down, took my feet off the pedals, and just pedaled enough to keep my feet dry and go slowly through the water so it didn't spray all over me, and just made it to the other side. Of course, when you come across water like that, the second thing you worry about is getting your brakes wet, especially caliper brakes like I have. You really need to dry them off by squeezing them and let the friction heat up and dry them off. I'm going to be taking a right-hand turn here and pull up and stop at one of our favorite locations. You can just see the remainder of the wet road up in front of me before I turned off. That's also another section of the road that does flood when the tide moves up. I love little lanes like this where sometimes you can come zipping around them and really enjoy the scenery and the feel of being on the road by yourself. But it has happened to me where I've come around that corner and a truck has come around the corner the other way with no room for me. So now I'm very careful when I come around that little piece of road, that bend. Oh my gosh, it's just a beautiful morning.